My real adventure started when I met my interviewer. I had 12 90-minute sessions with her over 4 months. She even scanned my photos and documents in my own home.
Welcome down to LifeBook again. You've been to visit us a few times to complete your book.
Yes, indeed.
I'd like you to just tell me a little bit about your journey and how you started with us at LifeBook.
Well, I had been wanting to write for several years and procrastinated until a good friend of mine who came and
one of
your other customers and dragged me to see you, kicking and screaming, in fact, and said, you've got to tell the story, if not for yourself and your life, for the important people in it, especially your father and your husband, both prisoners of war.
Right.
And so I started, and I was rather skeptical that I would ever continue, quite honestly. But the LifeBook framework just gave the whole thing the structure that I needed. I had some interviews by Skype.
Yes, we had to do that especially.
Manila to London.
Yes.
And it was done. Maybe not in the time frame you actually wanted. We spilled over a little, but it was done.
Yes. So Jan, this is a copy of your book now with the photograph on the cover that you chose specially, or did you?
Can I explain who chose
Yes.
it? It was not me, it was the LifeBook team.
Ah.
And I wanted something else. I wanted an antique map of Sussex. And then your project manager, Tom Harnett, said, no, we've done maps before. And he said, I love this one. And this is a photograph of my mother-in-law's camphorwood chest. And it was chosen, and even Lynette passing through the room said, that's the one.
Great.
And it's a wood carving, and apparently you've never had a wood carving on the cover of a LifeBook before.
That was our
so
first.
I feel very special that that's unique.
And you also did a paperback version of that, a large format paperback, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did 12 hard copies with the dust cover for the people for whom it's dedicated and my 2 brothers. And I did 30 paperbacks
to distribute
for different friends.
In England and in the Philippines?
England, Philippines and the States.
So they're all over the world now?
Yes, they are.
The other question I'd like to know is, you'd never met your writer, so how did you get on with the writer, and did you like what they produced?
We didn't know each other, Soraya and I, and in she walked. And we soon made friends. And the interviewing went well, and when she could see that I was being sidetracked off the subject, she gently brought me back and kept me on the theme of whatever story I was unfolding at the time, for the sake of the recording, the mic in front of me.
Yeah, I think it's hard because it's easy to go off track, and when
Very
you're telling
easy.
a story, and to structure it like that, that's the purpose of having an interviewer there.
Yes.
If you're sitting down and trying to write your own story, you've got to think, well, what do I say next?
That's exactly
And the interviewer is
right.
supposed to, they're trained to lead you into that.
Yes, yes.
And then were you surprised when you got the writing back, that it was because it's from a different person?
It's from a different person. I did a fair amount of amendments because I like to write.
Yeah.
As I say, many years before this happened, I wanted to write. So I was writing vignettes, but they came to nothing. And I did a fair amount of changing.
Yeah.
And I kept asking Soraya, are you offended by this? So she said, no, not at all, it's your book. But her writing was good.
And Jan, when you have the final control of the book, you edited out things you didn't want, or did you not put them in the first place?
No, there's stories I have just totally left out.
Okay.
And
well, that's
every time I remember something I've forgotten,
okay.
yes, I kick myself about that.
Well, that'll be volume 2, won't it?
Well, especially my brothers say, that wasn't, our parents didn't quite do it the way that you interpret in this book. And I've said, you write the rejoinder. You go to LifeBook, write a new book and write the rejoinder.
Perfect, so we'll have another customer.
Another customer.
Jan, thank you so much for coming down, and we really appreciate you helping us with this.
My pleasure.